I would like to call to order the meeting of the Winthrop Subcommittee on Monday, May 9th, 2022, 6 p.m. We are meeting in room 142 of the Winthrop High School, and this meeting is being televised live. Can I have the roll call, please?
Ms. Barry?
Here.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yep.
Ms. Leonard?
Here.
Mr. Matucci?
Yep.
Ms. Petrie?
Here.
Ms. Swope? Here. Ms. Powell?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Berry, can you lead us? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment? Yes, please rise for a moment of silence to recognize Maureen Gell. Thank you. Do we have any public comment tonight? Hearing none, we will move on to delegates and visitors. We have tonight the students who are the recipients of the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Can I have the board step to the front and we will be able to congratulate the students who are here. Yeah, I'll have, one up from the table and then the students will come along. We'll do a receiving line. Very nice.
So the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship, I just want to give everyone a brief description. The John and Abigail Adams Scholarship provides a tuition credit for up to 8 semesters of an undergraduate education at a Massachusetts state college or university based on the student's MCAS scores. The scholarships are granted to students whose combined scores places them in the top 25% of students in their district. They must score at an advanced level or equivalent on one of the tests and score at the proficient level or equivalent on the remaining tests. And here are the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship recipients. First, we have Annalise Bruno. Next, Aiden Dietremont. Maggie Doig. Anwar Edabai. William Gillis. Ari Hain. Ryan Kafori. Ramsey Khalidi. William McMullen. And last but not least, Brandon Morgan.
Okay, we have Ed Crumby, the principal of the Winthrop High School, to talk about the accreditation and other events going on at the school.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again here tonight. I'm here to provide you with an update on our accreditation status. Officially, we received a letter from the NEASC accreditation body, and they have granted us continued accreditation at Winthrop High School officially. So that's a good thing for us. I know last we talked, that was kind of unfinished business. So we have ongoing accreditation is our official status, and the accreditation letter that we received from them highlights our accommodations as we discussed before and what their recommendations are for us moving forward. And that letter can be found on our school website for everyone to take a look at when they have a chance. And I'm sure you all have a copy of that.
Yes, that's real quick. Are there any concerns you have about us being able to meet all of the requests that they have?
No,
I didn't think so.
no, not at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
And I just had a couple other updates I was going to provide for everyone, just to give you, let you know what's going on currently at the high school and what lies ahead for us between now and the end of the year. Some of the bigger things, we are just wrapping up our course selection process at Winthrop High School. We've updated our course catalog and our AP contract. We've had our students have selected their courses for next year, and we're in the final stages of scheduling, which is always a good thing to be at that point at this particular juncture in the school year. And we anticipate that our student schedules will be available for next year to our students by the end of June. Upcoming events, we have the Top 10% Award Ceremony this Thursday, May 12th at the high school auditorium at 9:30 in the morning, where we honor the top 10% in each of our grade levels. On Thursday night, we have the North Shore top 5% Scholars Dinner, where we honor our top 5% of our senior class. That's at the Hilton in Danvers. That's always a nice occasion. We also have the Undergraduate Award Ceremonies, which are scheduled for Tuesday, June 7th at 6:15 p.m. in the high school auditorium. And I guess the biggest thing we have going on is we're going to start transitioning our seniors to the end of their high school careers and then to their postgraduate programs. So this year we have an excellent group of seniors who have been accepted to a lot of different schools and programs, so we're certainly proud of that accomplishment. Our seniors have been accepted to over 150 different colleges, universities, and programs. And the list of those schools includes, just to name a few, the College of the Holy Cross, Quinnipiac University, High Point University, University of Vermont, St. Michael's College, University of Pittsburgh, Merrimack College, UMass Amherst, Villanova University, Harvard University, Northeastern University, Brandeis University, Worcester Polytech Institute, Suffolk University, Providence College, Purdue University, Trinity College, National Aviation Academy, St. Anselm College, Michigan State University, Boston University, Boston College, Georgetown University, Fordham University, Syracuse University, and Tufts University. Just to name a few. There's a long list, but I just wanted to highlight those. So we're certainly proud of the places where our kids are going. And within the next few weeks, we'll be releasing the exact schools that these students have chosen to go to, and typically that comes out in the graduation edition and the Winthrop transcript for everyone to see where our students are going. And then upcoming senior events, we have our senior week kicks off Friday, May 27th with the all-night party here at Winthrop High School in the gym. Our prom is scheduled for Tuesday, May 31st, and that will be at the Hyatt, Harborside Hyatt in Boston, East Boston. The class night awards and dinner ceremony are scheduled for Wednesday, June 1st. Graduation rehearsal and the walkthrough of the elementary schools is scheduled for Thursday, June 2nd. And graduation will be Friday, June 3rd on Miller Field at 6 o'clock. So there's a lot of information there. It's all available on our school website for anyone who wants to look. But certainly this is the fun stuff, and so we're really excited to have our senior week for our students.
Fantastic. Are there any questions? Congratulations on your updated course catalog. I got the chance to take a peek at it, and it looks fantastic. It's very exciting to have that for our students, and I'm also glad to hear that we're going to be getting our schedules out. That you're on top of that and getting them out by June 1st, because I'm sure that's a big relief for everybody.
Yeah.
And I know that's an significant administrative accomplishment.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2022?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Ms. Petrie. Do I have any discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve warrant SVW 22-19 in the amount of $224,423.62?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lettieri, second by Ms. Berry. Any discussion? May I have a motion, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. May I have a motion for the payroll warrant SPW 22-22 in the amount of $853,353.23?
Motion?
Second. Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Ms. Leonard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Abstain.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Abstain.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. May I have a motion for payroll warrant SPW 22-23 in the amount of $809,304.10?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Ms. Berry, second by Ms. Petrie. Any discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Abstain.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Abstain.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. We have no budget transfers tonight. We have a buildings and grounds request for the Women's Health Forum at the Neil Shapiro Center for Performing Arts. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion?
Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Ms. Petrie. Any discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. We have a subcommittee report on policy.
Yes, so on Friday, it was May 6th? May 7th, Friday, May 7th. We had a meeting at 9:30 a.m. With myself, Suzanne Swope, and Suzanne Leonard in attendance. We met as a follow-up to a prior meeting where we voted unanimously to have the ability to have our meetings be hosted via Zoom. When the policy came back, it read that there were 2 public comments to be had in the meetings, and so we had to go back and review that because about a year ago we stopped having the second public comment session. So we went back to the drawing board to discuss whether or not we were going to change the policy and drop the second public comment session or open it up. And then are we opening up, how do we open it up? Are we opening it up via Zoom or how? So how are we gonna run these meetings? So the decision was made at the time to continue to allow for the meetings to be hosted via Zoom, with the initial public comment being only able to be submitted in writing via correspondence or in person, and opening up the second public comment session to allow for Zoom respondents. And the reason why it was done that way is because there's no way to really take public comment during a meeting unless you have somebody sort of manning the emails and that sort of thing. And we also discussed that we felt it made sense, given that the town council meetings have 2 public comment sessions, to allow for 2 public comment sessions. So we voted to keep 2 public comment sessions and not change the policy.
Okay, can I have a motion to amend the policy that we initially approved?
Motion?
Second.
And you want to state what that will be?
I know it's kind of confusing.
We amended the motion to include a second open comment session via Zoom as well as in person. We also limited any comments to 3 minutes.
That's right.
And I think that was what we amended.
Okay, so the amendment will be to limit comments to 3 minutes and to open up a second discussion time at the end of the meeting.
For in-person and
Via
Zoom.
Zoom, and that would continue in person as we've had been doing prior. Any discussion on?
I'm not in favor of any Zoom sections of the meeting. I don't think any meeting should be in Zoom anymore. I think it holds things up, it drags meetings on. People are muted, they can't be heard. There's just a number of things that happen during Zoom. I think we had to have Zoom at one time, we don't have to have it anymore. People want to be heard, they come to the meetings. As far as emails go, they can write in prior to meetings. Our agendas are up at least 5 to 7 days in advance. If they look at the agenda and there's something on there. If there's any other concerns that they have, they can certainly write in email. We'll read anything they want into the record. And they can certainly come down to the meetings. I have no problem with the second public comment. We always had it.
Yep.
We shouldn't say, we've had it before. We took it out, I think, because of COVID, because there was a minimal amount of people coming out. But now, I think the second public comment period should absolutely be added in or back in or continued. But as far as Zoom goes, absolutely not. I'm dead set again. Thanks.
Mr. Lettieri?
Thank you. I don't disagree with the school committee member, Tucci. On the Zoom, I just think it's a logistical thing. If we're going to have all our meetings in the Harvey Room, and we have the capability of doing that and doing it relatively flawlessly, I think that would be fine. But if our meetings are scattered in different rooms, I don't think we could guarantee a Zoom run, not that we don't have the ability to run it, but just logistically with access and stuff. I also believe that I like the 2 comment periods. I like the 3-minute time limit because I think it keeps the meetings going. I don't think there should be any restrictions on, the first, if you're going to do Zoom, then they should have public comment rights just like everyone else at both periods. So if you're going to have 2 public comment periods, I think they should be equal in terms of access and everything else. I do believe that people have the opportunity to get to meetings for the most part if they want to be heard. But again, I think my major issue with Zoom is just the capability to make sure we have the ability to do it in a very good manner and in a consistent place. So I would eliminate the Zoom also and have 2 public comment periods and have them, free access to whoever wants to make a comment.
Do you want to make a motion on the first, allowing comment in the first?
I think we're still talking about the amendment first, so I think we have to
Have that.
look at the amendment and then we
You would
could look
amend
for a
to amend.
future amendment. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna get crazy with them.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Of Mr. Lettieri. Mr. Lettieri, we have Zoom meetings for the town council meetings and the Board of Health meetings.
Mhm.
So I'm confused as to why access for the public can't be made also for Zoom for school committee meetings. And that was a big thing for me, like that was sort of a hang up for me in this discussion, because I felt if other committees are allowing it, we should too.
I think there's a law that's allowing it for a specific amount of time. I think the school committee happens to be addressing it maybe a little before everyone else.
I see.
I don't think other committees have made a commitment one way or the other.
They're just continuing.
And not that I have a problem with Zoom, but I think it's harder here if I don't know where the Zoom would be. Are we turning around? Are we able to see who's on the Zoom? You know what I mean? I think if we're going to commit to have meetings at the Harvey Room every other Monday night or whatever it is, then it's easier. I just want it to be, whatever we do, to be able to run relatively seamlessly. But I don't think there's been a decision. I mean, I think the majority of the council does feel that Zoom capabilities are good, and we have a room set up for it, basically. So it makes it easier.
Yeah.
I think it's harder, personally, in here if Patty's unable to make a meeting, if it's harder for somebody to be able to do the Zoom and we don't have really access to it, that we're not really looking at the screen to see who's on the Zoom, who's not on the Zoom.
Yeah, I think
I don't
too,
know.
just one more comment and then we can move on. The other concern I have with not having it is that we're talking about parents with school-aged children. 6 to 8 is a tired time frame. We're talking about dinner, and we're talking about bath time, and we're talking about getting kids to bed. And it's hard for parents to come in person. And I think in an effort to allow for more community involvement and easier time for parents to listen in, they can be on Zoom and have themselves muted and hear what's going on. And that was, those were the issues that drove me to want to offer that.
Ms. Swope?
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I agree with what Julie just said. We talked about it because, Patty, this is a question for you. Can we have meetings in the Harvey Room?
So we can, but sometimes there's conflicts and then we have to come to the high school. Most of our meetings are in the Harvey Room, but it is booked by other
Right,
boards
so
and.
can we book for next year our meeting times, or is
Planning board.
we already in?
Planning board.
Yeah, I have tried that in the past, but the planning board supersedes the.
The planning board supersedes,
hard.
they've been there,
Yeah.
they have their meetings on a Monday schedule, and there's certain times, like Patty said, that there's just interference, there's
Right.
just conflict.
Right. I mean, the majority of them end up in the Harvey
Harvey
Room,
Room.
but there are a few occasions we have to come over here.
But those are could be relatively few if we.
I mean, I think I think they are relatively
Yeah.
few. We don't, we're
Right.
definitely in the Harvey Room more than we
Right.
are here.
Okay.
Yeah, and as far as the technology goes, we had agreed at the last meeting, I think, or two before, that we would offer community service hours to 2 students who could help run the Zoom meetings, so that Patty wouldn't be having to do that.
Yes, Ms. Lynn?
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to underscore what Julie just said about the, the understanding that it would not be the responsibility of Patty, for example, to be trying to manage the Zoom in addition to everything else. I just wanted to make a comment in response to Committee President Lettieri's comment about 2 different formats for the comment sections. And that was something we did talk about. And I think it was founded on the idea, sorry, I want to use people's last names. As Mr. Martucci said, the agendas are made available in due time, and we felt like it made sense to only allow comments, written comments or in-person comments at the beginning of the meeting before anything had happened. But it felt to us not as responsive to public concerns to not allow something a little bit more in the moment at the end of the meeting. So that's why we decided to have those 2 different types of comment periods. And so that was the reason for that discrepancy.
Jen?
Ms. Martucci?
So, again, like I said, I think there was a time that we needed to have Zoom. There hasn't been a meeting that I've attended, whether it be school committee, council, that hasn't had interruptions due to Zoom. I mean, the council meeting I just watched recently, they have trouble hearing people, they're not coming through, and it causes delays and waiting. To me, there's no reason for it. So I just think people, if they want to be heard, should come right in. But I have not been to a meeting where Zoom has not caused delays for no reason, I think.
Any further discussion on the amendment?
Looks like Ms. Petrie.
Yes, Ms. Petrie?
I don't disagree that Zoom can be arduous or a hassle, but I do think that until we come up with a better solution to make our meetings more accessible to families, like you were saying, the 6 to 8 o'clock dinner time, bedtime for families with younger kids, I do think we have to find a way to make our meetings most accessible. I think for now, Zoom might be the most effective way to make them accessible, but I don't disagree that Zoom causes unnecessary headache.
I don't disagree with that either.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
So can we just clarify what we're voting on right now?
Yes, so we are voting currently on the amendment to the original motion, which would allow Zoom meetings facilitated by 2 high school students earning their time with 3-minute limit on comment allowed at the second portion of the Zoom meeting, at the end of the meeting,
Through Zoom
through Zoom.
or in
And then we would, as our policy currently has, we would continue to have the second public comment at the end of the meeting.
Are we ready? For the,
And this is
the
just
roll on the amendment.
Amendment.
Yeah,
Just
to
the
be clear,
amendment.
this is just the amendment, then we need to re-vote on the original. Do we?
Do
Okay.
we need to revote?
Yes.
Yes, because we've amended it.
I see, okay.
Okay. So this is the roll call for the amendment to the policy.
Correct.
Miss Barry,
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri,
I'm so confused. Yes on the amendment.
yes on the amendment. Okay. Miss Leonard,
Yes.
Mr. Matucci,
No,
Miss Petrie,
Yes.
Miss Swope,
Yes.
Miss Powell.
Yes. Now, do we have discussion on the entire motion, original motion, which is to allow Zoom meetings as amended?
I would make an amendment that both public comment periods are equal and the same, have the same access and capabilities.
second.
Motion made by Mr. Lettieri, seconded by Mr. Martucci. Do I have any discussion?
So,
Ms. Swope?
Gus, are you saying that you are voting now to, they be the same, but not necessarily through Zoom? I'm not sure what you're saying.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be Zoom.
The
Right? I think
motion,
that's what it is, right?
No, I think the
No.
motion is, well, I
You
should
said the
say what the
same.
motion is.
The
The
same
motion
as,
is
the first one's no Zoom.
whatever we have, you know, it looks like there's a possibility the motion passes eventually without a unanimous vote. So my concern would be if we're going to pass it and it's going to include Zoom, whatever it includes, whatever public comment period you have, I believe should be fair and equal. If a person, you know, if you did have Zoom and they were able to be there at 6, but they weren't able to be there at 6:20 and they missed the second public comment period, they should be allowed to speak at the first. If you're going to have a public comment period, it should be equal in access. If you're going to take the time to use Zoom, then people should be able to make a public comment on it. I mean,
so basically you're saying that it would be.
whatever the policy ends up being, whether you have Zoom, doesn't have Zoom, it doesn't matter in the motion. The motion is, to me, whatever public comment period you have. If it's 1, 2, or 3, in this case it's 2, I think they should be equal. Any person should be able to make a public comment, whether it be, if you're gonna have Zoom and they're only there for the first public comment, on Zoom, they should be able to make a public comment. They shouldn't have to wait for the second. That's the whole thing, the whole premise here is you're trying to make it more accessible. And then you're limiting the accessibility by having them only allowed to speak during the second one.
Just a point of order, I thought the policy committee came to the school committee and said that we were recommending meetings on Zoom, a public comment that would only be in writing or in person. Did the committee ever vote on that?
We did.
So we've already voted to allow Zoom meetings, correct?
We had, but under the policy, they have to go through 2 readings. And in that time, they can be amended. So this is, what we're voting on tonight is amendments to the policy that we approved.
So
So
Just
we
to
approved the policy,
we
but it
approved-
doesn't go into effect until there's been 2 readings. And so we tonight are on the first reading, and we are having amendments made to that.
So I guess I'm just a little confused because if we were to amend the first policy and say no Zoom, doesn't
No,
it
that's-
obviate the amendment in the policy in the first place?
Who's saying no Zoom?
Oh, she's saying that if the motion doesn't pass, if the motion then goes down, if the motion as amended goes down, does that mean that there would be no Zoom?
Yes. But why would you think the motion's gonna put that on? It just passed 6-2, or whatever it is, 5-2.
I thought that was the amendment. Sorry, I
Right.
think I'm just
It
getting
is the
confused.
amendment, but I mean, you would think
But the
it's
original,
not
if you
gonna
look at the
change.
original vote. So the,
I don't think we voted the first time. I think we kicked it back to the policy subcommittee, didn't we? Right.
I think that's right. I think
We
Mr.
never
Martucci's
voted.
right.
We did
You
vote
did?
the first time, and then when it came time to the policy reading, that's when I spotted the the situation with the two public comments.
So we didn't, the vote's not,
Right.
the vote's moved. So we haven't read now, this is what you're voting on, is.
we have not read,
We
we
have
have
not-
not
we have
read,
not
we did
voted
not
on
have
this.
the
This is the
first
vote.
reading, it got kicked back to the policy
That's right.
committee
Exactly.
before the first reading.
Yeah, right.
So
Correct.
may I ask a question,
Yes.
just because, so that I'm clear? If we make amendments and we vote on amendments, can we have the first reading tonight? Or does it have to, do I have to go back and make the changes and then have a first? I just want to be clear on that.
I think we can have the first reading as amended.
As amended,
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
Okay, so.
But I'm gonna withdraw my second on, because I didn't realize what Jimmy was, so I'm withdrawing my second.
Okay.
Okay, then do I have a second on the motion to allow public comment via Zoom during the first public comment session?
Just to clarify the motion doesn't say via Zoom. The
Okay.
motion says whatever policy we end up with, if it's Zoom, if it's whatever
Not Zoom.
other
I
kind of
understand.
It's
stuff you
the same
have.
at the beginning and the end.
Right,
Right.
I'm just asking for
Alright.
2 public comment periods equal.
To be equal.
Yes.
Okay, fair.
Second.
All right, second by Ms. Petrie.
Okay.
Any discussion on the amendment?
Jim, you did understand our rationale for the first one, right? Only because we thought that because we did have, it is laid out for the public early on, that they would have time to write in if they had a comment about it.
I understand your, but my logic to that would be, if they have time to write in for a comment, why do you need Zoom to begin with?
Because during the second hearing, for example, there could be things that happened in the meeting that they would like to comment on. The first, our thinking was, and maybe, I understand your point, because it may be unclear to the public and it just makes it confusing anyway, so
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
just saying,
probably
if you're
vote
gonna
for
have
that.
it, let
I would
them
probably vote
speak.
for that.
Mhm.
I guess my point was, it's just that we thought, because it was already out to the public, that if they wanted to say something before the meeting, then they could do it in writing. But I just wanted to make that, that's it.
One more thing, the realization is, how much public comment are we getting? When there is a hot
That's
button
right.
topic,
We'll
people are
get
going to
public.
be here giving us comments. in
That's
public.
correct. One way, or through Zoom, one way or the other. It happens both here meetings.
All right, okay, can I, any further discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Miss Barry,
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri,
Yes.
Miss Leonard,
Yes.
Mr. Matucci,
No,
Miss Petrie,
Yes.
Miss Swope,
Yes.
Miss Powell.
Yes. Any further amendments? All right, I would like to pass the gavel through because I would like to make an amendment.
Wait, what?
I have to pass the gavel because I can't as
Can
chairman.
I hit it?
All right, so given the concern over the logistics of being able to do this, and also given the uncertainty about how effective Zoom will be as a vehicle to reach and engage the public more, and I am 100% supportive of having people being engaged more. I'm a little concerned about the students being able to be qualified to run meetings and make decisions about who should be on and who should be off. So I am going to make an amendment that we review the policy at the beginning of October to both for effectiveness and for whether it needs to be modified based on how we're running it.
Second.
I think if you also,
Sorry.
Okay, so
Julie's running this now.
now you have to say.
Here, you want me to?
Can somebody else do that, because I'm not comfortable. Sorry.
Okay, there's an amendment to the motion that's on the table to review this policy at the beginning of October. Do I hear a second on the amendment?
Yes.
A second by Ms. Leonard. Any discussion on the motion?
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Barrett.
Is your amendment related to having the Zoom and having a further meeting in October, or waiting until October to reassess?
Waiting till October to reassess.
So not moving to Zoom at all?
Yes,
No, move
it
to
would be
Zoom.
moved to Zoom as stated. the policy would remain
Yes.
as the
And then
motion
we
was
reevaluate.
agreed on. And then it would be reevaluated in October to make sure, as was stated earlier, to make sure that the capabilities are there and the students are actively participating and able to
get it.
do the Zoom and everything else.
Okay.
So it's basically a 3-month trial.
Yeah, and we were on board with that to begin with.
Yeah,
That was part
we
of
were.
the original.
Okay. So there's an amendment on the floor. Any further discussion on the amendment? Ms. Petrie?
I also think when we're reviewing, we should also review engagement to see if it's worth a policy to maintain continuing.
I agree with that.
So I'm assuming the amendment is to review the policy as currently stated from
Yes.
the beginning of October,
Yes.
which could be all-inclusive. Mr. Matucci?
And again, I'll say this, more confusion. Zoom is not, it's just not a good thing.
And that's why you'll have your opportunity to state that in
Yes,
October if this
that's-
motion
Makes
passes.
no sense, but whatever. Thank you. It's causing more confusion.
Any other discussion on the motion? So again, to repeat, the motion is to revisit this issue if passed in October for any further clarification. Seeing no other discussion of a roll call vote on the amendment.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
No,
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
All right, the amendment has passed, and now Ms. Powell will ask for a vote on the motion as amended.
May I have a,
Another amendment?
nope, I'm all good. I'm all good, thank
I want
you.
another turn.
We can arrange that. I would like any further discussion on the motion as amended? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
no.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Having no other subcommittee reports, may we have the superintendent's report? Ms. Gallagher.
Yes, so we have just some announcements of things that are going on in the district. We want to start with congratulations to Jacob Oliver, who is one of the winners of the MWRA poster contest. As well, congratulations to the following WP Gorman Fort Banks students who received honorable mentions. Aniela Capasso, Brando Conchar, Roman Carson, Sophia Petty, Elliot Alberto, Winter Rose, Veronica DeLory, Carmen Bauer, Elise Linehan, and Scarlett Fuller. So congratulations to all of them. We also have congratulations to the Winthrop Elk students of the month for March. For grade 6, we have Stephen Barron and Kelsey Talent. For grade 7, Francesca Indrizano and Alex Ross. And for grade 8, Jordan Mercado and Eric Briggs. The 30th Annual Winthrop Chamber and Community Awards will be held at the Cottage Park Yacht Club on May 21st. The tickets are $35 each. Connie Grayson is receiving the Educational Excellence Award. Christian Bonapani and Jennifer Delahanty are receiving the Student Leadership Awards. And Anthony Butch Martucci, Chris Palmer, Sean Carlton, and Taylor Fiandaca Brown are receiving the Coach of the Year Awards. Project 351 Ambassador Jillian Bonapani organized and collected 52 bags for the Cradle to Crayons clothing drive. That was a great job. The superintendent also applied for and received a communication board for the Fort Banks Playground through the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism. The boards are a really great way to promote inclusion. It's a wonderful tool for pre-K and our ASD students who rely on visuals. And the foundation will be launching a contest with an opportunity to win some money and prizes for the Fort Banks School. So it's perfect for so many of our pre-K and ASD students there. And this Friday, May 13th, there will be a Skate for Salvaggio fundraiser at from 3:30 to 5:30 at the Larson Skating Rink at the Eruzione Center, featuring a night of skating with Miss Dempsey. They will have pizza and raffle prizes. The tickets are $5 and can be purchased at the 21st Century office located at the Arthur T. Cummings School. And they can be purchased between the hours of 3 and 5, Monday through Thursday this week, or they can be purchased at the door as well. And all proceeds will go to help pay for ongoing medical bills for Ms. Salvaggio's daughter, Andrea. And then this Wednesday night, we have our English Learner Parent Advisory Committee meeting at the Cummings Cafeteria. It's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So we sent home flyers to all of our EL parents and formerly EL students, their parents, and we're hoping that they'll come out so that we can get to know them a little bit better and find out how we can, support them better as part of our school community. So that's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. and there will be some light refreshments, and we will have childcare if they need to bring their kids.
Nice.
And that's all I have.
All right, fantastic. Do we have any homeschool applications?
We do not.
Do we have appointments, resignations, retirements, and postings?
There were a couple postings in there. We have a special education teacher at the Cummings Elementary School has been posted. We have an ESP, educational support professional, at Winthrop Middle School. We also have anticipated openings of the middle school world language teacher, and also middle school math teacher for the 22-23 school year. So those have all been posted. And I believe there's also a special ed ABA teacher for the Fort Banks, a long-term substitute maternity leave coverage for special education, and an ESP position for special education all at the Fort. And I think the principals are finding it very helpful to be getting some of these postings out early and get some interviews conducted, So I've heard really good things the last few days about some of the interviews they've had, so.
Question on the world languages, that is Spanish?
That is Spanish.
So we are looking to restore Spanish to the
To
middle school.
restore Spanish at the middle school, yes. And I think, fingers crossed, he had a really good interview, and I think we'll be moving forward with it, so we're excited about that.
Fantastic. Do we have any leaves of absence?
None.
Under new business, I have the first reading of the revised Citizens Access to Winthrop School Committee Meetings Policy. Can I have a motion to waive the first reading?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Swope,
Second.
second by Ms. Petrie. Any discussion? Can I have a motion?
Yes, Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Abstain.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Do we have any unfinished business? I've none listed. And with that, public relations.
That's Petrie.
Barry? Okay, I have on May 13th and 14th, coming up this weekend at 7 p.m., the Drama Society is performing a black comedy, which they're calling a crazy farce, where light is dark and dark is light. I've been on very good authority that is actually going to be a very fun performance, if you can make it. And I know we had a moment of silence for Maureen Gill, and I wanted to extend condolences to her family. She was Superintendent's mother and Theodore's former council president's wife, and I know that she was very active in our community and supportive of this board. And I just want to extend our condolences to her family.
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So,
I concur, and the ceremony for her was very lovely.
yes, it was. And with that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Ms. Barry. Any discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. We are adjourned.